Now in Matthew chapter 14 verse 22, there is an interesting revelation I want to share with you today. The Bible says the disciples of Jesus were struggling for their life on the lake because they were being buffeted by the wind. But suddenly in the midst of their struggle, they see Jesus walking on the lake and they all called him a ghost. But because Peter wanted to be sure if it was really Jesus when he said it was him, he said to Jesus, "If it is you, command me to come." Jesus told Peter, "Come." And the Bible says Peter started walking on the lake. Now you will realize that when Jesus came walking on the lake, the storm did not stop buffeting the disciples. Even when he told Peter to come, the storm still was in operation, buffeting the disciples. Now watch this. Even when Peter started walking on the lake, the storm was still in operation. Now in the boat, he was being buffeted and affected by the storm. But when he started walking on the water, even though the storm was still in operation, Peter started walking through the storm on the water unaffected. But why was he affected in the boat by the storm? But when he heard Jesus tell him come and he began walking on the water, this time he is not being affected by the storm. It is because his eyes were on Jesus. Peter had encountered a revelation or a dimension of God that has put faith in him to walk over the challenge of the day. There is a revelation and a dimension in God that when you encounter, it puts faith in you to walk victoriously over the challenges of life. When Peter heard Jesus say come, he was able to switch and connect to Christ in the same frequency, and that which made Jesus walk on the waters unaffected is the same thing that helped Peter to walk on the waters unaffected. But when Peter checked himself out of this frequency he was with in Christ, he started seeing something else that put fear in him, and then he began to sink. Beloved, life is made up of a lot of challenges, but if you maintain yourself within the same frequency with Christ, you will be equipped to overcome the challenges of life. If the church would keep its gaze on Jesus and connect with Christ in the same frequency, it will be equipped as an army to overcome all the challenges of this generation and generations to come. Child of God, if you don't learn to keep your eyes on Jesus and you don't learn to connect with Christ within the same spiritual frequency of his word and the frequency of the Spirit, you would be destroyed as you sink deep within the challenges of this generation. May you receive the grace to keep your eyes on Jesus all the time, and may you receive the grace to connect with him in the same frequency of his word and Spirit. And all this is possible if you get connected to Jesus. Get connected to Jesus and you will overcome the challenges of these times, and you will also be equipped as an army to possess the nations for Christ. My name is Reverend Ebenezer Nate Traco, and for more of these interactions, follow us on these social media platforms and on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell button. Until I come your way again, God richly bless you.